This was the original Shoreline Plugger. It was this ugly blue and white for males, and it was pinkish red and white for females. So I questioned this and found out that it was a mistake by the factory, but a lot of them were pre-sold to the Big Island before anybody could do anything about it. So I went ahead and I'm going to make this to show people what it looked like beforehand. Thank you. I was supposed to receive a new unit, never did, so I just went through the process, spent my own money, and I'm going to do it on my own. So hopefully this is all I'm going to need. I had to go out and spend my own money to finish this project, but I'm not going to sit around and cry about it because I want to use the rod again. I like that rod. It's a good rod. And the people in the Big Island be catching nice sized GTs with it. I have a good friend over there that loves it, but I haven't shared the background story on that rod. So this is what I'm going to use. It took me maybe about $80 to put this together, but I am going to do this. Oh yeah, heats up pretty fast, and you can see the elements in the back starting to glow already. I should be using gloves, but I'm not too happy I have to do this, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So bear with me, and I'm going to try not to get hurt. I measured this, the foregrip here is 5.5, so I'm going to give it some leeway. It's not going to need much leeway, but you got to remember the heat shrink tube is going to tuck in. So I'm going to cut out a 6-inch section. I'm going to use I bought a square. It's actually a pretty nice Rafter Square, and I'm going to cut out an exact 6-inch section. And I was able to get this X-Flox online, so found some cardboard. Wood would have been better, but I found some cardboard, so I'm gonna put this on the cardboard and cut it out using. Can't find my other blade, so I'm gonna have to use a box cutter. I made a small cut, so I'm gonna draw my line. Use the box cutter, cut it on the cardboard I have here. Can't believe I got my first accident with the box cutter. Oh well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the creased areas first. Go from one side to the other and let it draw in. Yes, look at that. It's turning red inside already. So I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit more. Still got to get the feel of this thing. There, it's starting to come in. Just got to keep moving it back and forth. Now I'm going to get the crease on this side. See how that is? See, it already came in. So now we're just going to go back to the original side. Going to keep moving this a little bit more. Keep moving it back and forth. Turning it around. I know the main thing you had to do was start on one crease and go to the other. That was the number one thing you had to do. And what's nice about the X blocks, it's good. You notice this black here? It's going to give a nicer look than the blue that was originally on it. And you can with the X's going across. That's why they call it X blocks. That's it's a rubberized coating. So what's going to happen is that when your hands are wet, it'll be a lot easier to hold this. And any excess that's on this, you get your box cutters and you trim it off. So I can touch it now. So I'm going to trim here first, and then I'm going to trim over here. Okay, so I just trimmed off the excess here. You can see it's right up to the crease here. I trimmed that off. There you go. So that's not bad. I'm going to hit it with the heat gun one more time. I know there's some metal over here, so it's going to retain the heat a little bit more, but I'm going to just try to get this so it's tucked in a little bit more. Okay, I'm not going to touch it, but you can see how right where the metal is, it just slightly curves down. I hit it with the heat gun, so this is coming over. See that? The rubber coating is coming over. So I think that part is done. So I'm going to trim the top part here. So as you can see, I trimmed that. So I'm going to heat it with the heat gun, let it shrink in. So as you can see, it came in a little bit more, but I'm going to touch it up again. So as you can see, not a bad job for my very first one. I'm going to touch this up one more time. Just give it a quick do-over. Make sure everything's all holding on really good. Up here it's already been trimmed. Down here it's been trimmed. So what I did is I moved this one on up so it's exposed to threading. So I'm just going to go like maybe barely 1/8 of an inch over the end here. And then that should cause it to shrink up. And if there's anything extra there, I would just cut it off. So I measured it out, cut out that piece. So I'm going to put it over this now. So see over here, it's just, okay, if I'm going to make this even. Okay, it's even now. Go barely 1/8, barely 1/8 of an inch over it. I'm going to hit the first crease. Now I'm going to hit the other crease. Hit some of the areas in between. Yeah, it seems like 1/8 of an inch is correct. I'm just guessworking because I got a lot of this tubing, so it's going to make up for any mistakes I'm going to do. So as you notice, I did the 2 creases first. I'm getting all the areas in between. And when I lay this down, I put the little kickstand like that, so it just stands up on the table. There. So, see, you still got all those creases here, right? Still there. But see, this part is already adhering. Look at that. The 1/8 of an inch was perfect. So I'm going to start heat shrinking this all the way down to almost until the end, and then I'm going to cut over here. So we're going to cut off that excess when we're closer to that area. Check this out. See, look, this is not done yet. This has been done. So you can see that it's starting to conform. I hit the creases here, little by little. I just kind of pull it down just a little bit, just to keep it from bunching up. That's all you have to do. Now, what I found that just roughly 3/4 of the heat setting there is enough to to work the way I am working on. It seems to be comfortable. You don't have to put it all the way up to the high setting on the dial here in the back. And I find that 3/4 works good. This is a 1800 watt rated gun, all right? So if you're gonna do this type of work, I would suggest that, 1800 is good. If you're gonna go with something a little bit lower, like 1500, then you might have to raise the heat setting on this. But as you can see, look at that. It's doing good so far. Okay, look at that. Now, when I hit the gun idea, and you can pretty much see where you need to cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. All right, so I made my first cut close to where it should be. Ooh, still hot there. Ooh. Boy, tell you, this material really holds in the heat. Okay, there, I cut it off. Actually, doesn't look bad. I'm just gonna heat it up with the heat gun one more time. I don't have to bring it all the way in. That looks pretty good already. I'm just gonna heat it up one more time so it's gonna stick to that like a second skin. Look at that. I just cut off the excess, and I was gonna cut a little bit more, but I really don't have to. I think I'm just gonna heat it up, let it shrink in a little more. It actually looks pretty good already. As you can see here, looks pretty good, right? You don't see any of that ugliness from before, that blue cloud type of look. Some of the other ones, for some reason, the factory thought that was the order. It could have been an order for another country, but not for the U.S. on another type of rod, which is what my understanding is. So, they did take care of it, but a lot of the ones that were sent off to the big island was sold before they could get the stores to resend them the materials back. And because I saw a lot of it being posted on the internet. So, one of my friends ended up with it, but he said he'll live with the blue because that was like, I don't know, a couple years ago when he first showed me that. And since then, it's kind of got dirty. And I told him that, I would ship him the stuff if he needs it. But he says, no, just show me this video, and he's going to do it on his own. So I'm just going to hit it one more time with the heat gun just to kind of get it even. Okay, gangies, I'm done. Look at that. Look at that. See, I'm just going to have enough room here for this to come, for the seat to come down. Slide my real foot through that. So I am done. I must say it's a lot of pride when you do the work yourself instead of having somebody else do it. Woohoo! Hot, 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 hot. Really hot. Woo. And this here, as you can see, I just heat it all the way up, so it's a nice seam right there. Everything looks good. Plus, if I made any mistakes, the black kind of hides it. So there you go. You know what? This, besides mistakes like this, what's good for the, I don't know what for the heat shrink it would be, is if you had cork. If you got the more inexpensive rods with the cork on it. The cork, you put it there because it's a cheaper material. Plus, it makes the rod lighter, right? But I would say that this material here would be good to use on your cork as well. Get that nice grip, especially when it's wet. So I like to say thank you for watching me. I only cut myself once. All right, thanks. So due to a mistake at the factory from the manufacturer, this rod wasn't completed correctly, but now it is. I liked how this rod performs. I recommended this rod to a group that went down for rooster fish down in Cabo, and they did really well with it.